And then just pull in a little bit more to your practice. So I've kind of changed a little bit of how I view this first part of our yoga practice, just a touch, because yoga can be a space when you block everything out and you take this time just for you, because we need that. It also can be a time for you to work through whatever emotions you're feeling that are more towards the negative side, along with things in your life. Maybe this is your only time that you can take to literally have a safe space. So if you need to use that for that purpose, that's a great way to work through things as well too. So either or, just kind of that check-in is why we check in. So we notice more of exactly what we need our practice to be for us. Yes, we're working on the physical body, but also all of the body. And that includes our mind and our spirit as well too. So whatever you need to bring into your practice, know that that's completely okay. So with that said, make an intention, make a mantra, make an affirmation, whatever you feel like you need the most today. And then bring your awareness to your breath. Maybe hands come to the belly, or one to the belly, one to the chest, just bringing that awareness to just your breath for a moment. And then start to find this rhythm for your breath. So maybe that's Ujjayi breath. That's that ocean breath where lips are closed, hollowed out throat, to where it sounds kind of almost like you're taking a big sigh as you breathe out with your mouth closed. Option to take the top of your tongue or the tip of your tongue to the top of your mouth. So you can come into Ujjayi breath or just find a natural rhythm that just works for you today. And then gently begin to open your eyes if you had your eyes closed as we start to move. So the first part of our practice is going to be a lot more moving. And then the latter part of our practice is going to be yin style. So holding poses, probably sticking around a minute and a half to 2 minutes. So we can kind of get a little bit deeper into our fascia and connective tissue. So we get the best of both worlds this evening. So starting movement, maybe you keep your legs in a comfortable position that you're in. We're going to move the upper body, and it might feel better for the lower body if you come into like a very relaxed Baddha Konasana or bound angle pose, butterfly pose, however you want to name it tonight. So we're going to start with those seated cat cows. So just sit up nice and tall. Relax your shoulders. If you're lifted with your hips, you can stay lifted. That's perfectly fine. And we're going to start with that rounding. So breathe in. As you breathe out, begin to round the spine, pull the belly towards the back of your mat, lift that tailbone if that feels good for you, and tuck your chin into the chest. As you take your next breath in, now opposite, we're going to arch the back. So you want to lift with your sternum, tailbone shifts to now point towards the back of your mat, shoulders press down, and we lift up through our heart center, our throat, and our chin. And then move with the breath. This is where you match movement with breath and find your rhythm for your practice. So as you exhale, round and curl. As you inhale, open and arch. Keep that movement going for 4 more breaths here. Straightening the spine on your next inhale, coming back to center, and then begin to just shift your rib cage from left to right. So knees can rock as well. Then maybe you take your rib cage in a small or large circle, kind of finding some movement in our upper body. Reverse your circle the opposite direction and just notice any sensations. Beautiful. Come back to center. Let the fingertips drop by your sides. Relax the shoulders. As we breathe in, begin to lift the fingers up towards the ceiling. As we exhale, bend the elbows open to cactus. Option to add a little poking up and out of your chest if that feels good, especially for the shoulder blades here. And then just find that movement. Inhale to straighten and reach. Exhale, bend. Two more. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, drop that right hand down, lift up and over to the right side of your mat. Now, of course, we're going to that left side. Option to lift straight up and come straight through center. Or maybe as you breathe out, you bring that left arm down, you lean forward and switch hands as you inhale over to the left. So pausing and holding here, letting our hips become very heavy, especially that right one because it has a tendency to want to lift. So drop it down towards your mat. Feel that stretch in the hip. Beautiful. And we'll move back and forth to each side. So maybe you take it nice and slow and you lift and exhale, or maybe you swing forward and switch hands. Find what feels good for you and your upper body today. And one more time to both sides. And then come back to center. Any movement with the neck or the shoulders after that motion. Beautiful. And then we'll make our way into tabletop position, all fours. Arriving here, taking that little bit of wiggle. And because we're moving, we want to go ahead and heat the wrists up. So start to shift the shoulders from left to right or circle. Maybe change the fingers, right fingers to the right, left fingers to the left. And then heating up our core a little bit as well. So go ahead and find that lower belly kind of lifted up in towards the spine. And then gently press in to that left shin as we extend the right foot down to the back of our mat. Option to keep it here. Option to lift the heel, find your balancing table. So opposite arm, opposite foot here. And then we're going to find a little movement. So breathing in. As you breathe out, begin to round. Pull the elbow in, pull the knee in towards the chest, and then breathe out, extend. Big pepper. Moving with your breath or holding. Last one. Exhale to round. Inhale, straighten. Hold it here, full breath. Breathe in, exhale, release. A little wiggle before we do that exact same thing to the opposite side. And then coming back to this foundation, lower belly up and in towards the spine. Press into the opposite shin. Extend the left toes down to the back of your mat. Stay here or inhale, lift the heel. Option to add the arm. And then find your movement. Breathe in. As you breathe out, round and pull into the center line, and then inhale, extend. Keep that going. 3 more breaths. Hold it as you come back to our balancing table. Big breath in and out. And then breathe in as you breathe out, release. Widen the knees or walk the legs together, big toes together, and then sink the hips down towards the heels. Make your way into your favorite variation of child's pose. If you just sank in here and this feels absolutely amazing, stay here, use your breath. If you would like to continue to move, walk your hands towards the top of the mat. Inhale, begin to lift the hips. Keep shifting them forward. Straighten out the legs, come all the way into cobra or anywhere in between. As we move, exhale, hips back to the heels. 3 more breaths. Coming back to our child's pose. And then on your inhale, gently begin to lift up. We're going to walk our hands over to the left side of the mat and bring that right foot forward. And we're going to straighten out the right foot. So we're going to jump straight into our half split stretch here. So bend that knee as much as you need to, especially right now as we have not really begun to warm up the legs. Always an option to rock forward into a lunge and back, or just hold it here, feel that stretch. We're searching for about 40% on a stretch here, just to feel out the hamstrings, the calves, the ankles, the toes. Beautiful. And then walk your hands over to the left, release, switch out the legs. So same thing with that left foot. Extend the left foot towards the top of your mat. Bend the knee as much as you need here. Take just your half split stretch or find that rocking movement, hips forward and back. And then release back to tabletop position. Inhale, or any way that you want to make your way up to downward facing dog. So it's our first one. So maybe you take a moment and you pause on all fours and do some cat cows or some wiggles. Maybe you slowly just begin to curl the toes. Take that foot stretch if you've been walking a whole lot today, or maybe you go ahead and press yourself all the way up and back. Find movement when you arrive here, or find stillness. Just make sure you're breathing, finding that evenness in your breath. One more breath, either making your way up to downward facing dog or pausing or pedaling here. Breathe it in. Release it out. Then on your next inhale, maybe you walk the hands back. Maybe you step the feet forward to come into your forward fold. Full breath here as you relax the head and the shoulders. And then soften the knees as you take your next breath in. Slowly and gently begin to rise up, mountain pose Tadasana. Shake it all out. Roll the shoulders, roll the neck, and find your foundation. Beautiful. Taking our crescent pose. So option to step your feet all the way together or keep them at a comfortable hip width distance apart. So inhale, begin to reach your arms up towards the sky. Palms can touch or stay apart. And we're going to lift up and lean up and over to the right side of your mat. Inhale back to center. Lift up, exhale over to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale, begin to reach the hands behind you. As they come behind you, you can bend the elbows, take the backs of the hands or the palms to the lower back. You can even intertwine the fingers and press them down towards the ground, whichever feels the best. Taking a halfway fold here. So breathing in, as we breathe out, hinge at the hips and come halfway. Keep the elbows lifted. Maybe you lift the hands up and over the head if that feels good for your shoulders. And take a slow, deep breath in. As you breathe out, release the arms and come down into your forward fold. Lifting up, using our fingertips, blocks, or our palms. We're going to step that right foot forward and our left foot all the way back, coming into a low lunge. Maybe you rock here. Just soft, gentle rocks, just keeping that movement in the body if that feels good. Staying here in your lunge or adding a twist. So we're going to plant that left hand and inhale, open the chest up towards the right, reaching the right fingertips up towards the sky. Breathe in. As you breathe out, release that hand. You can plant the palms, step both feet back into plank pose and take a vinyasa. Or you can come back to a downward facing dog or a forward fold and meet us there. Full breath as you arrive in your forward fold. And then we'll switch out the legs. So soften the knees, fingertips or palms. Step the left foot forward, right foot back. Right heel lifts, bend the left knee over the left ankle. Find your lunge. Same option to add some rocks here. And then continue those rocks or hold your lunge or add the twists. So fingertips come down, inhale, reach the left arm up towards the sky. And same thing, you can meet us in that forward fold or plant the palms, step the feet back and vinyasa. Meeting in our forward fold. Breathing in, releasing out. Then add your halfway lift. So as you breathe in, begin to straighten the spine. Holding here. And then breathe in. As you breathe out, release. Breathe in, soften the knees. Begin to roll up to mountain pose, Tadasana. From here, step our feet out wide. Toes are going to point towards the front of your mat or the side of your mat if you turn to the side. Go ahead and lift the kneecaps, engage the thighs, tuck the tailbone, lift the lower belly up and in, and relax your shoulders, breathing in. As we breathe out, we're going to lean to one side of the mat. It doesn't matter which side you lean to. I'm going to the left first. And you can hold it here. Maybe you go all the way down into your Skandasana and lift the opposite toes up towards the sky. Then as you breathe in, come back through center, exhale over to the opposite side. Same thing, just taking a side lunge or going a little bit further. Holding and breathing here. And this time we're going to inhale, lift the hips, and exhale into a wide leg forward fold. Option just to hang here. Option to add some arms. So relax the head down. Breathe in, breathe out. As we breathe in, you're going to lift up halfway. We're going to plant that right hand down and lift that left arm and find a twist here. Breathe in. As we breathe out, we're going to take that left arm behind the right and all the way over as far as we can, maybe even grabbing your left shin, then letting the elbows bend and head fall down towards the ground. Breathe in. As you breathe out, release and relax back to our wide leg forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway and switch sides. So left fingertips or left palm come to the ground. Inhale that right arm up high. Breathe in. As you breathe out, take it down behind the left, reaching all the way over to the left ankle, the left shin. Let your elbows bend and relax. Breathe in. As you breathe out, let both arms release. Head relaxes. Full breath in and out. And then slowly and gently softening your knees, lifting up, bring your hands to the thighs for support as we come all the way back up. We're going to turn to the right side of our mat. So we're going to switch our toes towards the right side of our mat and then walk that left heel in. And exhale, hinge at the hips. Take half pyramid here where you're holding onto your thigh. Maybe you walk down to your shin. Maybe fingertips come to the floor. You can always lift that left heel just to go a little bit deeper. Soften that right knee. Press yourself back up. And then turning our chest all the way to the left side. Same option here. Change that right foot, make it more comfortable, straighten the legs, exhale, hinge at the hips. Find your pyramid on this side. Stop wherever you need to. Option to walk everything back to a wide leg forward fold or soften that left knee, plant your palms, take a vinyasa here. Beautiful. Whichever pose you're in, with feet underneath the hips or wide leg forward fold. Inhale, take a halfway lift. Exhale, release it down. Walk your hands to the top of your mat. Step your feet all the way back through plank so you can lower down onto the shins, maybe even hips to heels to move the upper body, or stay on all fours to find any movement that feels good. Beautiful. Taking this right leg first, we're coming into pigeon or deer pose. So starting with pigeon pose from all fours, you're going to bring that right knee towards the top of the mat, cross that right ankle in front of the left thigh, and begin to straighten that left leg down towards the back of your mat. Option to roll onto this right thigh and bend the left knee. Stay lifted or fold forward. Starting our yin practice here. So readjust if you need to as we sink down and just breathe. A minute and a half here. Three more breaths here. Inhale, slowly begin to lift the head and release either into a seated position or back to all fours. Any movement before we switch over to the other side. And pigeon or deer pose with the left leg in front. Find your edge here. Remember, with yin, we're looking about that 40% sensation. Something where you can comfortably sink in here and really just relax. Three more breaths here. And then inhale slowly and gently begin to lift up all fours or a seated position for any movement. But we're going to come into thread the needle. But if you came to a seated position, you can still do thread the needle with your legs out straight in front, like a staff pose or a seated forward fold. You're going to do the exact same thing, just in a different position. Or if you prefer to come onto all fours, you can even leave your hips sink down towards your heels if that feels more comfortable. So like kind of combining a thread the needle with a child's pose, or hips can lift. So just whatever feels comfortable for you and your body. We're going to take that right arm first. So right arm is going to come out. It's going to cross over to the left, coming onto the outside of that right shoulder blade as we sink down. And then just relax that left forearm, reach it out towards the top of your mat, maybe even behind the back, whichever feels more comfortable. Sink it down, a minute and a half here. Five more breaths here. Take your time lifting up any position for a little movement that feels good, or just relax before we switch over to the opposite side. And then we'll switch over to the left side. Remember in Yin that we treat each side of our body differently, so we can take a different variation from side to side. So switching over with the left hand. Left hand comes out, left hand comes over to the right. Palm press up towards the sky, and then find what feels good here. Hips can lift, they can sink down towards the heels. If you're in a tabletop position, maybe you reach that right arm towards the top of your mat, or just let it relax. Five more breaths here. Notice where you can soften and relax a little. Where are you unnecessarily squeezing? Typically, we do that in our feet, our hands, or our jaw, or our face. So just notice where you're holding unnecessary tension, and you can just relax and breathe. Four more breaths. And then slowly begin to lift the head. Any movement. We're making our way, if you're on all fours, into a seated position, but feel free to stop and move wherever you are. Coming into a very deep hip stretch. A lot of people have had lots and lots and lots of hip tightness here lately. So this is a very deep hip stretch. Feel free to take it halfway not the full kind of variation of this pose, or lighten it however you feel comfortable. So we're going to come into what's called fire log pose. So we're going to take this left leg and kind of send it a little bit further out from our body. And we're going to stack that right leg on top. If that's too much for the hips, you can sit exactly how I'm sitting now. Leave that right leg slightly in front of the left. You can kind of squeeze the legs together a little bit more if that's more comfortable. And we're going to lean forward here. Or once again, same option. You can stack that right leg on top of the left, not worrying about space. If we have space here, and then you can stay just lifted, kind of supporting yourself with your fingertips here, or you can fold and round forward. Five more breaths here. Inhale slowly and gently. Begin to lift up, unravel, let the legs stretch out, windshield wiper, butterfly, whatever feels good after that. And then switching it over to the opposite side. So this time the right leg is underneath. So bend that right knee, kind of send the heel a little bit further out away from your pelvis. Same thing, left leg can come in front, just let the knees bend, fold forward here. That might be enough for that left hip. Or stack that left leg on top of the right, kind of stacking them like a fire log would, or fire logs. Readjust however you need to for your body, and then option to lean forward. Five more breaths here. As you breathe in gently and slowly begin to lift up. Slowly unravel any movement here that just feels good after that. then we'll take a forward fold before we come down on our back. So any variation of a fold that feels good. You can add more gentle hips by coming back to this butterfly position or legs out straight. Find that lift as you breathe in. As you breathe out, lift up and over and let the upper body really relax here. Five more breaths. Inhale slowly and gently, begin to lift. Any movement as we make our way onto our back. Taking some movement as you arrive there as well. Bending the knees and rocking the knees or lifting the knees in towards the chest to find a little movement, whatever feels good here. And we'll take either a modified or a half happy baby. Starting with this right leg, just begin to stretch it up towards the ceiling. Keep that right knee bent and just feel this out. How does this feel for your body? So you can stay just like this, maybe taking that right hand to the thigh or walking it up, maybe holding on to the outside of that right foot. And then option with this left leg, it can stay bent, or maybe you straighten it down to the bottom of your mat. 3 more breaths here. Breathe in. As you breathe out, begin to release that right leg. Bring it to either the calf or the inner thigh. Straighten out that left leg. And we're going to come into a recline tree pose. And just try and flatten out your body as much as possible. Arms can come out to a cactus position. Maybe your branches reach above your head. Just a few breaths here, noticing any sensations in the front of the right hip. Breathe in. As you breathe out, release any movement or just relax in a comfortable position. And then same thing on the opposite side. So your left foot points up towards the ceiling, left knee bends. Same thing. Keep it right here. Keep it nice and soft and gentle, or find your edge. Option to keep this right leg bent or straighten it out down towards the bottom of your mat. Five more breaths here. And then same thing, recline tree on this side. So as you release, just slowly bring that left foot to the inner thigh or to the calf, whichever just feels more comfortable in this reclined position. And then arms can be anywhere that you feel more comfortable as well too. Gently begin to release, finding a little movement or just coming back to a comfortable position for a breath or two. And then taking our twist, so option to keep those cactus arms or take your arms out to a T. We're going to do a two-legged twist or legs together, unless you would prefer just to one leg. So you're going to lift your shins and just slowly lower the legs over to the right side of your mat, keeping that left shoulder blade glued to the ground. And then option to take that right hand to the outer left thigh, just about 3 or 4 breaths on each side here. Slowly coming through center, straightening out that right arm and taking it over to the left side. Breathing in as you breathe out, release any last minute wiggles, stretches, or movements, or just go ahead and come into your favorite relaxed position. And then just slowly begin to settle in. Beginning to close your eyes. Feeling your body for a moment become heavy and sink further in to your space. Big, slow, deep breaths. Breathing in peace. Breathing in relaxation, calmness, whatever it is that you need. Allow your breath to fill your body and allow your body to now feel light. Starting with your toes. So as you breathe in, sending the breath all the way down to the tips of your toes. Releasing out stress and tension. Breathing in, filling up the feet with lightness, with love, with happiness, joy, calmness. Breathing out, release tension, anxiety, stress. Breathing in, send that goodness to your ankles, your shins, your calves. The knees. Breathe into the thighs, feeling your legs become light and relaxed. Breathing into your hips, sending your hips happiness, joy, love, light. Releasing any tension, any trauma, any pain, and let your hips relax. Breathe into your lower back. Feel your lower back soften and relax. Breathe in to the middle of your back, your shoulder blades. Feeling your back become light and relaxed. Breathe into your belly. Breathing out and releasing anxiety, heaviness. Breathing into it lightness and happiness, calmness, joy. Breathing to your chest. Breathe in love, forgiveness, compassion. Breathe out heaviness. Let your chest feel lighter and relax. Breathe into the tops of the shoulders, the upper arms. Breathe out heaviness and tension. Breathe into the elbows and the forearms. Breathe out, release. Breathing in new oxygen. Breathing out, release. Breathing into the wrists and the hands. And breathing into the neck and the throat. Breathe out hate, anger, frustration. Feel your throat, the back of your neck relax. Breathe into your face. Breathe into it joy, light, happiness. Breathe out stress. Breathing into the top of your head. Breathing out negative thoughts. Anything else you want to release here. Feel it float away. Allow your entire body to feel light. Now that you've filled it up with calmness, with happiness, with joy, whatever you breathe in, bring your awareness back to your breath and just take a moment here just to notice what this feels like. Just to relax. Locking yourself in a big giant bubble to keep this feeling for the rest of your evening, the rest of the week, however long you wish. And then allowing your physical body to start to move again, start light with fingers, toes. And then beginning to add more at your own pace. Beginning to find any movement, any stretches, as you start to notice how your body feels again. When you're ready, begin to roll over onto one side. Take a breath or two here. And this is that moment of self-love, self-care, where you don't sit up and get ready to go. You roll over and take your time drawing out just this last moment of your practice. Taking your time, making your way back to that seated position so you can notice truly with patience how you feel in your physical body, your mental body, your emotional body. And arriving here, bring back your mantra, your affirmation, your intention from the beginning of your practice. Just to be aware. And then bring your hands in any comfortable position. that just feels right this evening. And know without a doubt, from my heart to yours, that you are absolutely amazing. Know that you are perfect just the way that you are. Know that you are worthy, and know that you are enough. Take a slow, deep breath in. Exhale, release it out. Shake, wiggle, move around.